Hi, and thank you so much for joining me today. And today's video is another September 2022. Today's is a sketch by the Scrappy Sisters, and you'll see it on the screen now. It's 4 squares and then some embellishments, top right hand corner, bottom left hand corner, with the title in the middle. So I've gone for 3 photos of myself, my daughter, and one of my daughter's best friends walking some alpacas last summer, at a local alpaca farm. I had 3 photos which I've trimmed down to just over 3 inches wide by 4 inches deep, and I'm going to use those as 3 of the 4 quadrants, and then the 4th quadrant I wanted to do some mixed media. So I've taken my Carter Bella leaf stencil, I think this was from the Gather collection, and used some Tim Holtz Distress paste through it, some texture paste, waited for that to dry, and then I'm going in with the Distress Oxide in Rustic Wilderness to add some colour to that texture paste. So I started by adding a couple of spritzes and then went in with some water just so that I could spread the ink out a bit without it being too dark. Once I've got that spread into the places that I want it to be, I'll then go in with some kitchen towel and just sponge off the excess, and I love the colour that I'm left with when I do that. And then I'll leave that to dry, and I'm really happy with the effect that I've got. Even the spray splatters look fabulous on the final layout. So next I position my photos, and then I'm going to add them to some pattern paper just to add a bit of interest. Now the papers I'm using are Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Weathered Garden, and I love these for outdoorsy photos. These are some of my favourite colours. And that Rustic Wilderness spray goes really well with them. So here I am, just mounting each photo onto this striped paper, just using my double-sided tape to adhere the photo down, and you don't need too much, just a couple of strips to hold it in place is fine. And it's really starting to come together now. So next I want to create those clusters that we had in the bottom left and top right hand corner. So I'm going to go through the ephemera packs. I think I've got a few modelled up together here, the floral pack and just the standard ephemera pack. And I'm just going to fish through and see anything that I might like and add that loosely to the layout. And once I've gone through that ephemera, I start to look at the 12 by 12 sticker sheet and find something that I much prefer as the anchor for that bottom left hand piece, and it just says be happy in the moment, and from that I can build the cluster around it, and I really like the sentiment and how that looks in that bottom left hand corner, because there's not a lot of space once you've added all the photos, so I just have to be careful what I choose to put there. And now I'm turning my attention to the title, and it's going to go in that place where best ever is, but it does change a few times before I settle with what I want. I love that little mustard heart in the bottom left hand corner. That gets moved a little bit, but that does end up being there. And then I see this Hello Beautiful, and that's what I end up with, because the girls are beautiful, the alpacas are beautiful, and it just is a nice sentiment for this layout. So just having a little fiddle, remembering that that's a sticker, and thinking it's probably time to start sticking these photos down. Now normally I do mount these on foam, especially because they're going on to some texture paste, but today I just want to keep the layout relatively flat, so I'm just going in with my double-sided tissue tape to stick them down, and then I can build the ephemera on top without having to worry about building up on foam tape. And you'll see when I position this bottom left hand corner photo, I just want to slightly offset them just to add a bit more interest, rather than being a block of 3 with the mixed media. So just faffing a little bit to make sure that I get that right, and also get it straight. I'll come in with my T-ruler because it doesn't look quite straight, and I just want to make sure that it is. And now it's time to start gluing these other bits and pieces down. So I start with the title and the little white flower I've got next to that, making sure that you can still read all the letters of the word beautiful. And then I want to add this butterfly, and I like to give my butterflies dimensions, so I'll add some wet glue to its body using that Nouveau Deluxe adhesive, and then some foam tape to the wings just to make it look like it's flying off the page. So I start with this butterfly, which is on its side, and that will sit on top of the O from Hello Beautiful, just like that. And then I'll move up and do the same with the other 2 butterflies on the page. And now those are down, I want to add some string to the tag that I've got there, and that tag is just there for decoration. It's not going to be used for journaling or anything like that. So carefully threading the string in, and I think at this point I realise that it's not actually stuck down. It's so easy to forget what you have and haven't done. I'm pushing it down thinking it's stuck, and then thinking, no, I don't remember putting any glue under, so quickly adding some glue to stick that down. Now I'm going in with my grey pigment pen and just adding some journaling around the bottom, just a very short sentence saying, a wonderful afternoon spent walking the alpacas with Amelia and Lucy. And that's all I need to say really. I have already scrapped this event once, so I've got one layout about it already in the album. So just filling in some of those white spaces in the bottom left hand corner, adding some layering with another small white flower. And then adding a tab, using my tab punch at the top so that I can add the date. And it's just a cut off strip from one of the papers, but there's enough there to create the tab. Just checking that it is at the top that I want it, but it is. So again, I'll put some foam underneath the top of the tab and then wet glue along the bottom to stick it just underneath the photo. And I like the way that just raises it up and gives a bit of dimension, because it is a fairly flat layout otherwise today. So there's that heart that I mentioned before, and that just nestles in next to the be happy in the moment phrase. And then I'm going to come in with my Distress Oxide in antique linen to add the date to that tab. So as usual, it goes onto some scrap card, and then I'll cut it out and stick it on top of the tab. So now I want to come in with some splatters with that Rustic Wilderness Distress Oxide spray. Not too many, just a few, just to add a little bit of dimension to the layout. So I add them in and then blot it up. I think a little bit of me was a bit impatient. I just wanted to get this done, but also I didn't want the green to be too dark. Now finally turning my attention to the sticker book, just see if there's anything from this that I can add, and straight away I find a little heart and then a little stamped circle. And that says Forever Captured, which is nice on that photo of Amelia walking the alpaca. I ignore the leaves and flowers because we've got quite a few of those on already. And then using one of these labels to just add detail down the left hand side of that top photo. And then I find another tab which looks cute. It says Fills My Heart. And that goes on that photo of Amelia. It really was such a lovely day. The girls thoroughly enjoyed it. It was all Amelia wanted to do last year when I asked her what she wanted to do in the summer holiday. She said, can we go to the alpaca farm? So it was my absolute pleasure to take her and one of her friends. So there's another label that just says Memories Made. And I try and add a third, but it doesn't work. And then these word strips, I absolutely love these word strips, so quite a few of these are added. That one says snapshots, and then one that says One Fine Day. And then I'll add some to that tag, because it does look a little bit bare there. So, making memories, friends, good times. And then at the top I have one that says awesome. And then go back to the beginning to get some hearts just to add above those to finish that off. A couple of hearts overlapped. Takes a little bit to do the positioning. I should have used my right hand really, it would have been easier. And then finally I'm going in with the glue to glue the string down. So thank you so much to the Scrappy Sisters for providing the sketch for the inspiration today. I hope you'll have a look at the other people involved in this hop. Their link is down below, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next prompt. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye.